We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out night feeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between. Welcome to Nightclubs to Night Feeds.
Episode Sweet 16. It's going so fast. Because we say that every episode.
But it's true.
But okay, doesn't that sound like what parents say?
It
Time goes by so fast.
It
Especially
does.
before becoming a parent. Everyone
Yeah.
tells you it's going to go by so fast. And it does.
And then it does.
And so do these episodes, okay?
Yes.
But we are talking fun things today, not so fun things, real
Yes, real
honest
things.
things today about post-baby body.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was pre-baby body, post-baby body, and baby number 2. So let's start with the post-baby body, where we are now.
Yep.
Are we loving ourselves? Are we not? Are we learning to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, great setup. For me, I feel like the conversation or like the scrutiny I guess I could have with myself was when I was pregnant, and I was so adamant like that I didn't want stretch marks that I really
Yeah.
had to take a step back and be like, Nicole, if you get them, are you going to love yourself any less?
Yeah.
And I really had to be like, okay, if they come randomly one day, I just have to like accept it, you know? And I
Yeah.
think that's where it really started, like the harsh
Yeah.
conversations with myself.
Yeah.
You know? And then after
And wait, did you get stretch marks?
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Because you're probably doing all the oils.
Yes,
did all the
the oils.
I was the same. I was like, I cannot get stretch marks. I don't have stretch marks. I've never had any.
But I think
don't
it's
want
also,
any.
It's also genetics too.
It is.
It's
And
genetics.
and
And
I
then
would
I-
like hound my mom. Mom, did you get any? I would ask my sister, Moni, did you get any? She's like, yes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get some.
Yeah.
And like, that is, I totally forgot even about the stretch mark stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my
'Cause
cousin.
that's like one. That's like step one
Step
into
one.
this whole
yeah.
thing.
And that's so much pressure on yourself because you
Yep.
cannot control
Yep.
getting stretch marks.
can't.
Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you really have to have conversations with yourself, like, what am I going to do if and when
Yeah.
they do?
Yeah.
I did get them, and I feel like it only happened at the very end, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whew, we're doing good." We're especially because had gestational diabetes, and I felt like I was on this intense diet the whole time. I
Yeah.
kept thinking like, I'm not gaining that much. I'm not gaining as much as like a normal quote unquote pregnancy gains, and I didn't. I think in the end I gained 20 total.
What?
But yeah,
That is insane.
Yeah.
I gained 80.
I gained 50.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Like 53,
Yeah,
I think.
I gained
That's
20, which
insane.
is so crazy because
Wow.
obviously, like, we'll talk about this as we get further in, but like the weight gain didn't happen till way after, like after I stopped breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And then it was uncontrollable. I was still doing the same thing. I mean, obviously, keto diet went out the fucking window once I gave birth to that child.
To that
But
child.
it was, yeah, I gained so little weight and then I didn't think that I had stretch marks. Bless you. I didn't think I had stretch marks until, because I couldn't see under my belly, you know? It's like
Oh,
you can't really see
yeah.
underneath.
That's right.
And then one day I got out of the shower and I look, I'm like, oh my God, they're all under there. The tiger stripes are all under the belly. And
That
I
was
did not
While
realize.
you're pregnant.
While I was pregnant. It was like the last, I would say like 2 weeks.
The final stretch.
The final stretch. It was like when
Yeah.
she had dropped, I think, and like it was like really about to be go time. But yeah, even though I didn't gain that much, it was like that part of my body was just like stretching, and again, something that you can't control. And I was doing all the oils, like
Lubing it up.
lathering it up every single time I took a shower, even before. Try to do all the things, and it's like it still happened. Obviously, now I feel like I still see them a little bit, but it's not as bad. Obviously, like they're darker when you're pregnant. And I didn't think, like, I cried when I first saw them because they were so dark. And I thought they were going to stay like that forever. And then after giving birth and, like, now 3 years later, they're way lighter and you can't really tell. It just, like, is almost like just, like, bumpy over that part, you know? It's not, like, a standout, like, dark that I
And
thought,
you
like,
literally birthed a whole human. And that's like the point. Like,
Yeah.
for everything that we're doing, everything that we're putting our bodies through, look at how we're so fixated on freaking stretch marks.
Yep. I know.
And that was for me, like me trying to pep talk myself, like
Yeah.
in those moments,
Yeah.
like, who the fuck cares, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, like honestly, again, back to like, you had a miscarriage. You want this baby so freaking bad, and now you're gonna complain about stretch marks. Like, get over it. And like, so I was mentally like trying to prepare myself, because they could happen, and you can't control it, like we've been saying. And
what was everyone's like workout routine, wellness sort of situation pre-baby?
Man, shout out to Zaire, because I was at like my peak. My body.
Why shout out to Zaire? That was all you.
Because when he met you?
Because he got to experience this.
Oh, okay. But you did that.
I did that.
Yes.
I did
yes. Shout out to you.
I was working out, and like I was really in it. I loved it. It was part of my daily thing.
Yeah.
To like work out almost every day.
Where were you working out? What kind of workouts?
I was working out with one of my homeboys, Jake. He had a workout class in Sherman Oaks.
Nice.
So every morning
and
I would go.
Jake is like doing like the pull-up bars.
Insane.
Like he does crazy workouts. Yeah.
Crazy calisthenics. Yeah. So I was going to those. I was going to what is it, like self-defense classes. I was like in that thing.
Yeah.
And then of course I'm like in my best
shape of your life. Yeah.
And Zaire's like, hey, let's have a baby.
Yeah.
So that was
surprise.
He
had to lock you down.
I mean, he didn't need to do it like that. He could have just given me a ring. Like that could have been cool.
We're not waiting or anything, Zaire.
What about you? I feel like you were running triathlons still before.
I mean, my whole life, like young adult life, I've been in training for something. Like I've been in sports my whole life, in school, and then even when I graduated like high school, voluntarily I was still in training for marathons, triathlons. So I was in great shape, and I have this picture from the first pregnancy I took because I knew we were going to start trying. And I'm like in a tiny little thong in a tiny little bra. And I did a selfie in like our full body mirror. And I'm like, I want to have proof of my body.
Remember
this way.
Yeah.
I have a photo. We got to post these. I have a photo.
No, I definitely cannot post this. I'm telling you.
I'm
it's like
wait a minute.
tiny,
She cannot go tiny little thong.
Okay, well, I'll
little,
post mine.
Tiny.
My body
it's like, no, my body is like crazy. I was in the best shape.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know things are going to change, but that's when I even put pressure on myself to like, I'm just going to bounce back. Like, I just have to. Like, there's no choice for me. Like, this is my body now, and I'm not ready to let it go. I'm going to get pregnant. I'm going to have a baby, and I'm going to come back to this because that's the bar I'm setting for myself.
Yeah.
Which... girl, like,
right.
Girl, please.
Yeah.
And I still have said, I think I've said on this podcast, like, I obviously am not training for a triathlon, but as a mom, I want to do a triathlon. That is like on my goal. I don't know a time frame of when that's going to be.
Yeah.
But that is a goal of mine, to be a mom and competing in triathlons. And I've met moms doing triathlons, but for me, that's just like, I need to prove to myself
that you can do
that I can do it.
Okay, name dropping moment.
What?
I remember meeting when I met Jennifer Lopez for the first time. I remember being like, J-Lo, how are you in such excellent shape after having your babies? And she said, training for a triathlon.
Yeah.
She said that is what helped her go back to.
What's crazy is I would love to do that now because I did try to bounce back so quick. I was on the treadmill as soon as I got cleared. Like I have been trying to like do all of the things, not triathlon training status, but now literally I think about this so often. How the fuck would I have time to train for a triathlon? Like that requires swimming and cycling. I don't leave my house
every
to work
day,
out.
Right?
Yeah, every day. I don't leave my house to work out. I go in the treadmill in the garage. I have weights in the garage. Like you're talking about Orange Day. You're talking about going to a class.
Yeah.
When you guys talk about that, I'm like, I'm not ready to leave the house to go work out yet.
I mean,
like,
I wasn't either at the age that you're like, so going back, like previous to having Poppy, it was COVID. So I would do like before getting pregnant, I would do a lot of workouts in my house, and like that motivated me to get up every morning. I remember a few of so I used to work in fitness. I used to manage a couple of yoga studios, and that was great because I was already there. I would do the hot yoga sometimes twice a day. Wow. I wasn't, even though I was working out like crazy, that wasn't the thinnest that I ever had like been, because previous, like, and I feel like the body thing is such a big topic because so many people have different experiences over the years, right? And I think as somebody who like have felt like I've always struggled with my weight, I've never been happy with my body, it's always been a thing for me. Like going into being pregnant, I wasn't even thinking about that because I was like, okay, like I'm not, I wasn't trying to keep the body that I was like pre-pregnancy because I was like, I already was going into it thinking, I know that it's going to be a problem for me. I already know because it's so easy for me to gain weight. It's so hard for me to lose weight. This has been a struggle my whole life, you know? And I think like I was kind of when I was really, really thin, when my husband first met me, like I was on weight loss pills, which I'm not proud of, and I wish that I never did that because I do think it messed me up and probably my metabolism, whatever like consequences it had, I'm sure, was when we all first met. Like that's when I was as thin as I've ever been in my whole life.
Wait, so when in that era when you're on those weight loss pills, is that just because you're like, I want to lose the weight and I'm not losing it on my own and I need help?
I think it was, because I just started working in entertainment. It was when we all first met. We started at the radio station. I felt like, oh, like all these girls just look different than me and like I just want to be thinner. And so at that time it was like the Kardashians weight loss pill. I don't even remember what it was called.
Oh, wow.
But it was purple.
I didn't even know they had a weight loss pill.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Chloe had one that she like endorsed and it was like they were like on all the posters and stuff. And so I went and I got those and it was like you're supposed to take 2 a day. And I remember one of the days it was like Drew and I had just started dating and we were somewhere and we were just sitting down and he was like, why are you sweating? Is everything like he thought it was like something was wrong. And I was like, oh, and I remembered like, oh, I took 2 of the pills today. I probably shouldn't have only taken one. I probably should have only taken one because I wasn't working out that day. So when I would work out, like the reason I lost so much weight is because it would give me so much energy. No, it like, puts your body on like a level of like you're running on a treadmill when you're just like sitting down.
Wow.
And so then when I would actually be on the treadmill, I could stay on that shit running for a long time, which was like not normal. I hated running. That's how I knew like, oh my God, this is like so psychological, you know? And so I lost so much weight because I was doing 2 a days at the gym because I was in college still and didn't have much shit to do besides going to college, having an internship and working. Right. And so I was so thin and I feel like it was unhealthy. Then when I worked in fitness and I was like finally seeing like everybody that comes here is all different body shapes and like I feel okay because it was a dark room that we were working out in, which is still a thing for me. Like when I feel the most comfortable working out is like in a dark room. I don't like for people to see me running, cycling, none of the things. Like I prefer for like it to just be like dark. Yeah. And so the kickboxing class that I went to the other day, it was in the dark and I was like, this is the shit that I love. Music loud and like kind of at least
minimal vision.
Minimal vision. Blurry vision.
I will not run down the street. You will not catch me. I do not want people to see me running. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, no. So, so I feel like previous to having Poppy, I was just not super thinking about trying to keep that body because I was like, I don't even care about, you know, and I already know what it's going to be. I wasn't like, I guess I didn't want to like get disappointed with the fact that I already knew I was going to be disappointed, you know?
Damn, yeah.
And I think now I'm in the space of like, okay, it doesn't have to be this way. Like you can get back to working out. And like, even if you don't lose any weight from it, because I was doing cycling once Poppy turned a year. Once she turned a year, I was doing cycling at home. Yeah. You know, I had the Peloton app, all the things. I don't have the Peloton bike. I have like the one from Costco. But I was like, I've taken enough spin classes to know.
Shout out to Kirkland.
Yeah, shout out to Kirkland. I was like, I've taken enough spin classes to know how to do this. Yeah. So I can follow what they're doing on the app with this bike too. So I did like 6 weeks of working out 4 days a week, which was amazing. I felt amazing, but I lost 5 pounds and then like gained it the following week. And I was like, this is some BS. Yeah. So then I feel like after that, I was kind of unmotivated to be like, even if I work out this hard and it's not like I
getting
eat terribly,
anything in return.
Like, I'm not getting anything. So I feel like now I'm in a different mindset where I am like, you know, okay, let's try the things because it actually just makes me happy and makes me feel more myself.
For sure.
And it has nothing to do with the weight, although that would be a great bonus.
Yeah. You know, for me, it was really loud for me. The experience of seeing the weight on me was our first episode that we recorded.
Same.
After watching,
we see ourselves on camera.
Yeah.
Thanks to this podcast.
Yes.
And it is like eye-opening.
And it really confused me because when I looked at myself in the mirror, I looked one way. And I knew that I had gained weight, obviously, because I had a baby. And okay. But then after seeing myself, I was like, holy bleep.
Yep.
And literally, I think like maybe another episode had a release, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm joining a gym. And then like I joined Orange Theory immediately.
Like one of the hardest gyms.
One of the hardest gyms. Joined immediately.
Go hard or go home.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, I was going really good for like a month, and I fell off for like after the holidays. And the last 2 months I've been going hard at
How
Orange
many
Theory.
days do you go a week now?
I go like 2 to 3 times a week.
And when do you find time?
That's really good.
Yeah, that is
It
really
is
good.
really good. But okay, this also was a lesson for me that I had to ask for help with Saint. And I had to prioritize my health and my well-being.
Yes.
Because the first year was really hard for me to even find time at all to
1,000%.
Because, Saint wouldn't nap, and then I had to hold him when he napped. And
And then if you have like a scheduled class, you're like, oh my God, wait, hold on, I have to leave. Like, and he's not
and
going
Orange
down.
Theory is really strict. Like, you can't
be late.
You can't be
I
more than 5
cannot
minutes
dedicate
late.
a class.
Oh, 5 minutes
like,
is pretty good.
definitely not.
Some LA studios are like, nope, not
can't.
even.
Right. And then it was also a lesson to prioritize myself.
Yeah.
And then I also didn't like seeing myself look a certain way on camera here, So then that's what really motivated me. And then what happened was in February, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to workout class at all. I wasn't feeling it. So I put a pause on it. So I was like thinking long term. And I was like, when you put a pause on your membership, the next 4 classes or whatever classes get rolled over. So then I went hard in March. So then I picked back up in March. And then since then, I've been going hard since March.
Yeah.
And now we're in,
girl.
June? Yeah. So I've been going hard. And then to your point about working out for 6 weeks and then losing 5 pounds, I'm like, okay, I am in my mid-ish, late-ish 30s.
Yeah.
And like my body doesn't like act the same.
Yep.
It's not losing
The metabolism.
or
Or the lack of.
And then also like the cortisol levels of like it's stressful being a mom,
Yes.
So it's like a lot of things that kind of
Things are different.
Yes.
Like post baby is post baby body, obviously, but also we're not 21 anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I swear I feel it.
I'm still a teenage mom.
I
I don't know
swear,
what
yeah.
you're
I swear I am 20, in my 20s.
Okay, can we just stop and just talk about how dope this recording studio is? I feel like everyone hits me about like where it's at, how cool it is, what's the situation. It's called Project Studios in Monterey Park.
Everything is here. And the staff does everything for you as well. The editing, the producing, the lighting.
The cameras.
Everything. We need that good lighting. Yeah. Get out of here.
And you could create such dope content here. Like downstairs is a full production area that literally is like for music videos, big scale production. And next door, they even have a place where like you can do flat lays if you sell clothing, jewelry, whatever you sell. It's like professional level studio next door that you can use.
And it's only 9 minutes from downtown LA. And there's parking here in LA. It's so annoying to find parking. And I know that was a big thing when we were looking for podcast space was where in LA that we can all park and feel safe and feel comfortable. Yes. And that is here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can see more of all the fun stuff they do at Project LA. And you can schedule a creative consultation at projectstudios.com.
Tell them we sent you. When you're in these workouts, like I even imagine that training for a triathlon, when you do it, like you're going to notice just little things about your body that you're like, oh, this feels different, or like,
Well, even with running, like I've had the treadmill at home and I was running on the treadmill. I got stuck on the treadmill through COVID. So it kind of like taught me how to work out at home, because before that I'd run outside. Like I could not run on a treadmill. So COVID kind of trained me for that, which is great. But I would actually run on the treadmill. Till this day, I have not ran on the treadmill. Like I will incline, fast walk. Sometimes I'll sprint for like 60 seconds. And that's like
That's a lot still.
That's my shit. Like if I want a good workout, I'm going to do like intervals.
Yep.
And I'm going to like sprint elevated.
Yep.
For 60 seconds and then like elevated hike the rest, and then I'll do another 60. So like if I want to ramp up, I'm just like adding in more 60s of sprints.
That's awesome.
And that's for me, like I'll get off the treadmill like, hell yeah. If I want to ramp up my treadmill workout even more, I put on YouTube and do an arm workout while I'm
on the treadmill.
Oh, now you're getting crazy.
Yeah.
Now you're getting
And
crazy.
you usually do this during naps.
During naps, always, But I still work out at least 5 times a week.
Oh, that's
Wow,
amazing.
that's amazing.
So how long are you on the treadmill for?
At least an hour.
Oh.
And he's napping the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And even if he wakes up, Henry knows like this is my time.
Yeah.
And he will get him.
Get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I also feel off when I don't work out, and I think it's just because I've worked out like my whole life.
Yeah.
That was hard for me post baby. Was like I am in a bad mood. If I don't get my workout in, like I'm actually in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I would try to like retrain my brain, like it's okay, you have a baby.
Yeah.
And still I'm like struggling with that. But I do get in my workouts. Henry knows that. And like if my mother-in-law's over or like grandparents come to visit, I'm like, I'm gonna be on the treadmill.
Yep.
I'm gonna get in my workout.
Don't bother me for 1 hour.
I'm gonna get my workout. Yeah.
So,
I want to speak about the mood thing, because that is one of the biggest motivators for me going back to doing a harder workout. Was like, one, when I was doing the spin class or like doing spin from home, Poppy was napping at that time. So it was easier.
Oh my God. And
easier
he's in the middle
me.
of dropping his second nap. And I'm like,
Oh,
no, please.
it's a whole new
I know.
world. Because there's no you time during the day, especially if you are the sole caretaker. And like now my husband is in the office most days. And so I don't have anyone that could even step in usually and so at that time it was great because I knew for sure it doesn't matter what time, she's definitely going to sleep for at least an hour. So I was doing the spin classes. But now, and what motivated me was I was thinking about how like I feel like we've been talking about being overstimulated and stuff. I've noticed that when I get overstimulated, I get really angry. And like we talked about last time, like I feel this.
You have a
need.
shorter fuse.
Yes. The fuse
1000%.
is so short sometimes. And sometimes it's totally fine. But some days I'm like, oh, no. You know, sometimes it's just like the littlest things where like I have a great talker, which I'm very grateful for. But sometimes the talking doesn't stop for like an hour and it's just straight. And I'm like, I can't. I just need like a moment of silence. And so sometimes I will go in the room, but then she's like, Mommy, where are you? You know, she's looking for me all over the house. And then I feel bad that I'm like, Mommy. And sometimes I do tell her, like, Mommy needs a minute. Like, can you just be quiet for just like 1 minute? Like, just quieter voices. Or like maybe you go, because it's not always me that she's talking to. Sometimes she's just talking to her toys, and her toys are talking to each other. And then she transitions into talking to me.
It's all
and
talking.
then back into the toys. And it's just like, yes. And so I realized like this should not be like sending me as much as it probably is. And how do I like help this in myself? And I realized like when we were talking on the podcast, like I was like, that exertion of energy sometimes is really helpful to me when I feel that like anger building up. Ooh. And so then I started to think like, oh, where would I release that exertion before? Spin class usually was the number one because I would stand up and go super fast, like you're saying with the sprints.
60-minute sprints.
When the music is really getting into you.
And in my head, I always have a goal. Like, bitch, you're not going to get this, whatever I make up in my mind, unless you do the 60 seconds. And I'll like do the 60 seconds and I'm like, I got that.
I need to know what
it's
the
like
goals are.
Small things. It's like body things. Like your arms are going to be so toned if you do these 60 seconds. And I'm like, boom. Do those
Michelle Obama arms.
Are you putting the sprints?
Oh, on the treadmill, it's like 11.0.
Wow.
11.0 sprints?
At a 3.0 incline.
Stop.
So, but I've noticed it's an easier sprint with a little elevation. Like a straight because you're hiking.
Yeah.
So it's a little easy and you're getting a hike.
Wow.
Damn,
Get
11
it, girl.
is incredible.
Yeah.
For me, my sprints are 7. I mean, I'm still good.
I haven't even been on. I don't even remember.
You're like, I don't even know.
It's been so long. But I went the boxing gym that I went to. They're actually inside an LA Fitness or a 24-hour. I can't remember. But when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, it's been so long since I've even like been in a gym that has like treadmills and stuff. And I feel like that's another reason why like the gym. I don't know. I think I'm weird about feeling like. It's like men. I like working out with like just women if I could prevent
definitely.
it, you know?
For sure.
And so in the main gym, it was like all men.
But I will say like the Soul Cycle, the gay besties in there are a vibe.
That's
I love
the best.
working
That's
out with
exactly why I love those because I'm like, oh, I feel totally comfortable.
Yeah.
Everybody's motivating each other. It's all love. It's all fun, you know? And I think like I was asking Nikki like if she made any friends at Orange Theory because making friends in workout classes is like such a big thing for me. And it helps motivate me when I feel like it's a sense of community because I feel like that's something that I really missed during COVID. Like talking about doing home workouts, like I was like, I miss people being like, yeah, get it, you know?
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
The coaches are like that at Orange Theory.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily have homies, but like I'll recognize people.
Yes,
go to
yes.
And then like, I'll just like fist bump
yes,
the coach.
And sometimes it's just like,
sometimes the fist bump is,
hey girl.
Yeah. Hey girl, yeah.
See you again.
Yeah. And then the coaches really like push you, but then also are respectful to like whatever your, you know.
Because sometimes when
is.
they're too intense, you're like, get out of my face. I've had some classes like that.
I actually told one of the teachers recently, because we're on the treadmill and it
What
was
did
the
you
incline
say?
every like 0.1. It was an incline, and I wasn't doing it. Or I think I inclined it once, and then she was next to me.
Oh,
at
and
the
they
empty
call
tread.
you out.
Oh my
and
God.
Yeah,
like
and then
that.
she
push
hit
it?
it. Yeah, she hit it, and then I was like, okay. And then the next push that we did, I lowered it down, and she like turned her mic off. She's like, "Are you not doing the inclines?" And I was like,
What?
"No, I'm listening to my body." And she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's great, yeah, cool." And I was like, "Yeah, bitch."
No.
Yeah,
And I kept
bitch.
doing-
No.
Because I
Oh my
wasn't ready at
God.
the inclines they were
Right.
doing, like my body.
And
'cause-
that's crazy because she doesn't know what people are
Yes, she doesn't
going
know
through.
if you have an injury. She
Yeah.
doesn't know
Right.
if you just had a baby.
And I had
Ugh.
never gone to her as a coach. Usually I have like my
wild.
favorite
Yeah,
coaches.
yeah.
And at Orange Theory too, this is sounds like such a promo. What they do is like you have a heart monitor on, and so you
Yes. Oh, I
see
remember.
like the whole thing is like you want to get to the orange,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
orange color.
Yes.
So I was starting to peek into red. Red is like, all right, you're only there for like a minute max. You don't
Yeah.
really want to stay
Yeah.
in red. And I was in red a lot, and I was like, can't you see my red like on screen?
Yeah,
Like,
girl. Hello.
I'm
There's my
redlining
body
here.
right there.
literally, I'm pushing myself too
Oh
hard.
my gosh!
Yeah.
When because this was perfect timing because I just went back this week as I left you all a voice note about me going back to
Yes.
like a HIIT class.
That was a great voice
And
note.
oh
by
my
the
God,
way.
I was so proud of myself,
Yeah.
and I was
Christine
so
sent us a
happy.
voice note after her class because she was just happy that she's back in it and
Yes.
finding her pink.
And I felt like such a like euphoric, like, you know, it's like runner's high, but with other types of workouts.
For sure.
And I came home and I told my husband that I'm like, I just needed that like exertion of energy that I think runners get when they get a runner's high.
Mm-hmm.
I just get when I'm like exerting and like a big force of energy, which was boxing that day. Sometimes it could be spin, but like the instructor, I did feel the need to tell him that because first of all, I accidentally signed up for the hardest class, which I did tell you guys. Like,
Kristine
of course. I get in there, I'm like, oh shit, like this is gonna
Wait,
be.
that is so not type A personality of you though that you didn't catch that though.
Right.
I saw it, but the delusion in my head said, nah, you could do it.
Wow.
You're pushing
It didn't-
yourself.
LOL.
It didn't say like a level. It just said like half hit, half kickboxing. I'm like, I've done HIIT many times. Kickboxing, the
this.
things that's newer to me. Like, it's fine. And so then when I walked in, thank God, there was like this young little sweet girl who was like, is this your first time? Like, first of all, they gave me free boxing gloves for my first class, which I
Oh.
thought was amazing. Yeah, I got to
Wow.
keep them. I was like, wait, these are mine? That's great. So she took me over. She's like, this is how you do it. And I'll be your partner throughout the class, which
How
was
cute.
so helpful.
Yeah.
Because obviously all of it, it's like a, you know, not a beginner class. So everything's written just like in like one letter breakdowns for the HIIT workouts. I'm like, what the hell is RCL, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was very great. And I felt like made me feel like welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And so then as we were like through the first workout, even she was like, this is really intense and like it's not always like this. And I was like, okay, cool. So the instructor comes over and I look at him and I'm like, just so you know, this is my first time doing a workout like this in like over 3 years. So normally I was like, I would go harder, but I have a tiny child at home and I need to actually take care of them. And so tomorrow I want to
I
be able
can't
to
be
walk.
so sore.
Yeah.
I need to be able to pick her up. I need to be able
Yeah.
to walk because the way that like 20-year-old Kristine, even 30-year-old Kristine would just go so hard to the point of like, I'm going to die and I don't
Yeah.
care. I'd rather do that than embarrass myself
Yeah.
is so real. But then the next day I could be like, okay, I'm just like staying like this now.
Yeah, you don't
I
have
don't have to
anything to
move.
do.
Yeah.
But when you have a kid, you're like, I have to think about the future.
Yeah.
Also, I have to think about not hurting myself.
Yeah,
Because
you
on
cannot
one
get
of the
injured.
oh my God, on one of the things I was lifting the weight and I was like, oh shit, if I keep doing this like this, I'm really actually going to hurt my shoulder, which like, then I can't pick up a baby. Then I can't make dinner. You know, you just like start thinking about all the things that are like.
So I keep
you
my ass
can't
at
get
home.
Okay, wait. Now, since we're talking about like post mommy bod,
Yeah.
are we willing to sacrifice our bodies again for baby number 2?
I am.
Woo!
We've lightly talked about this, and I am for the long haul, which
Yeah.
is having another child and Santi having
A sibling.
sibling.
a sibling and a bestie for life. I would hope,
Yeah.
like I have, and yeah, it's a conversation in our house that's happening more often than not these days, and we go back and forth still. As far as my body, yes, I am willing to sacrifice it, but I'm just like everything else of starting over. Like even now, Santi, when he gets frustrated or he's having more of these toddler tantrums, I'm like, how the hell would we deal with this happening with a tiny little baby?
Yep.
I think about that all the
Yep.
time.
Like,
Yep.
exactly. Like I'll like try to step in this moment that's happening okay, how would I do this moment with a tiny little baby?
Yeah, same.
Like if he's screaming and there's a tiny little baby sleeping, how would we tell him like, because and when they're having their toddler tantrums, like you can't get through to them.
Nah.
They're gonna while out, they're gonna scream, and we can't be like, shh, baby sleeping. Like there's no doing that. And that's just one example. But yeah, even little things that like we say.
Yeah.
And then we'll be like, imagine having another kid right now.
Yep.
Or
Does Henry always say that, or do you say that?
Both of us do.
Okay. Because
I
Drew
think
always says that.
Both of
Imagine.
Imagine.
But he's on the other side.
Yeah, he is very much like does not want another one.
Where are you?
I'm in the middle. I'm like 60-40.
60
for
you want
yes,
another one?
40 for no. And I think the 60 is like, I don't want to regret not having another one. I want Poppy to have a sister or a sibling, period. But I think the 40 is like, our life is so great right now. And we're like in a groove, and she's 3 and we can do so many more things with her. And like, we're both at a good place with our jobs and like all, you know, and so it just feels like, okay, if I do this all over again, like obviously I've been thinking about all the logistics, how that would be different than the first time because of where we're at with our jobs, how it would be different because I know more than I knew the first time. We're not in a pandemic, you know, like all the different things that are more 60. Like before it was like 60-40 the opposite way. And I feel like all those thoughts coming in has like helped. And then obviously, the body stuff, I'm like, okay, which is also the other reason I'm like, I want to get back to like being comfortable so that if I do get pregnant, I don't feel so uncomfortable because right now I feel like I feel uncomfortable already, and I wouldn't want to like add more weight to that because obviously that is what's going to happen, you know? How about you, Nikki?
No, I for sure want another one.
Yeah.
Zaire, we've lightly mentioned this on the podcast. He's hesitant because he has 2.
Yeah.
His first daughter, his only daughter, she's 16.
That's insane.
Yeah. So he started all over again with Saint, you know, Saint being 2. And so I want another one, same reason as you were mentioning, Krystal, like to have a bestie, but like a close in age bestie, you know? I don't see my life with just one child, with just Saint. I see having another one. He's hesitant from the very Virgo aspect of like, can we afford it? Where are we gonna live? Can we do this? Can't like all of these, and I'm just like, I just want a baby before 40. So
you're like, I'm not thinking about all those other things. It's fine.
Yeah. But there's also like an age difference between Zaire and I. He's 3 years younger than me. So there's certain things that he's kind of stressing about that I stressed 3 years ago about. So
like
I'm not
what?
really worried about like some financial stuff or like certain stuff like that, or like some emotional stuff that I've gotten through.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the hesitation. I don't want us to, like, the way I'm viewing it is I want to plan it like the way both of you planned your first baby, your baby. I want to also plan it like that. I don't want to have like oh shit, we're pregnant type of experience again, you know? So, but I also want to plan it with him while being on board. Because I don't want resentment from him. Of course, like with it, you know?
It has to be the both of you guys.
It has to be. So that's why we have to
be careful. And if you don't get that,
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't get to that place, then what happens?
I think he will, because he knows how much it means to me. So I think he
will.
That's kind of how Drew is too.
And what it's going to mean to your child.
For sure.
It's not just a us mom thing. Because I think the main us mom thing isn't even for us. Yeah. It's for our child.
It's for a kid. Yeah. That's 100%. I don't want another kid for me.
Right.
I want another kid for Saint.
Right. Yeah. Like, trust me. Do I want to go through the newborn stages in the trenches and go through all that? No. It's not. It's still not for me at the end of the day. It's for him, for his life. Literally for the duration of his life. He's going to have this person for him, with him, together.
And I think some of the argument on that on the other end is like, there are some people who have siblings who they're not close with, you know, who are close in age, who are far apart in age, whatever, raised in the same house, not raised in the same, like different circumstances. And I think that that's the other side that I think about too, is like we could do all of this and sacrifice this time in our lives that we know is going to be really hard and choose to go into that. And then we never know, you know, it's a gamble. Like they could be really close. They could not talk.
It's a gamble, but I think it is really on the parents.
For sure. I agree.
Because my sister and I are so close, and when Henry and I have had these conversations, also we're girls, so maybe that's easier. Henry is really close in age with his brother, closer than me and my sister. They're like Irish twins.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think I forget how many months, like
Yeah.
a year and 6 months. Like
Wow.
they're a year. They're born the next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Henry's born the next year.
Shout
Like
out to
literally.
his
Wow.
mom.
Yeah. I've always told her like, what, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Because I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And he's like, me and my brother weren't that close, but they're boys. I think
Yeah.
I think in the era that we all grew up in, like boys are macho and like you can't
for
really
sure.
show emotion and like you can't be like lovey-dovey with like your brother because whatever, right? And with me and my sister, we were the opposite. And Henry has literally sat down with my dad and asked him like, what did you do when you raised Monica and Krystal that they are so close? And I remember my dad vividly saying, she is your best friend. You guys have to look out for each other.
Yes.
And they definitely raised us to do that. And also, like, we wanted to because we weren't going to play with our parents at home. Like, we played with each other. And I've even said, like, I didn't want to play the Barbies that my sister was playing, but I figured out ways to play with her and I would build their houses. Like, you find out ways, but also because that age was similar. Had we been like 7 years apart, I'm sure it would have been easier to be like, I don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be by myself.
That's how it was. My mom really drilled into me and my brother's brains. Like, we always look out for each other. We're always in each other's lives. Always, always, always. And so my older brother and I were about 2 years difference. And then my younger brother, it's 6 years. So when I was a kid, when he was born, I did have a season like that where I'm like, he's a baby. I don't want to play with him. So we didn't get closer until he got older. Yeah. So there's definitely the difference in age. I see it firsthand. And now I have a different relationship with both of them, but I'm much closer to my younger brother. So that age thing for sure, that's why I'm saying before 40, because it's not necessarily, I mean, it is because my clock is ticking, but also it's just the age difference.
The age gap.
For him, now that he's 2.
That's true. And you have such a different relationship with, like, I have a sister who's 20 years age difference for me.
Wow.
Crazy.
Which is really crazy.
I do too, actually. I have a half sister that I'm not close with. I've never mentioned that to you guys.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I feel like, obviously, like, every family is different. I think in my family, there were different dynamics because siblings, I have step, I have half. I don't have any full siblings that have the same parents as me. So that, I think, kind of like, I was not provided with the same sibling experience, I feel, because I have 2 stepbrothers who they're full brothers. I had 2 half brothers who they're full brothers. Then I had my sister who is my half sister, and she's the only one from those 2 parents. And then I have another sister who's the 20 years difference. We have the same dad.
Crazy.
And so it's kind of all, like, I feel like
spread out.
Yeah, it's so spread out. And I think that our parents, like the boys, the brothers that I grew up in the same house with, our parents always told us that, like, you guys look out for each other. You don't go anywhere without each, that whole thing. But I feel like being step can be very complicated. And like, as you get older, things change or people get upset, whatever
Logistics,
it is. And you don't have like your full blood to like go back to almost sometimes.
Sure.
And so I feel like sometimes I think about that and I'm like, it would be obviously really nice to like give Poppy a full like sibling, because I never got that. And I always felt like growing up, like I didn't have the same last name as my mom. I felt like I didn't really look as much like the rest of my family, And so sometimes I think about that aspect and I'm like, that would be really nice to like give her that, And
it's special.
It's special.
Yeah.
Especially, I really want to give her a sister. And so I feel like that's what my hang up is always with Drew. Like, I think he's like, if you really wanted it, like I know that we could do it, but he's still like, look at how comfy everything is right now. Like, are you sure?
Sometimes Henry is more for it than I am. Like, I will go back and forth. Henry's like for it and ready.
He's like, let's do this
yesterday.
now.
Of course he's ready.
Like yesterday. Yeah. Because I mean, he is a great dad, and because he's like the logical research person. I'm telling you, like, he sat my dad down, like, what did you do? Tell me everything. Like, he's ready. He has the game plan. When is it happening? Because he has it ready. And I'm like, I want it to happen too. But I'm also kind of like, I told you girls, I don't want to even really entertain this conversation until I'm done breastfeeding, and I'm still not done breastfeeding. But I do want an in-between time where I can just like fully live my life and not be tied. Like my body is just mine for like a little bit, please. And now we're having these conversations more and I am breastfeeding less. So I'm like, maybe we're getting closer to it. But it's crazy because we're even talking about it. Like, is there any breakup time in between? Because it's constantly like a conversation. It's on our mind.
The breastfeeding thing is such a huge, like, even I have other people that like have tiny babies now. Some of them who are breastfeeding, some of them who are not. And I feel like the ones who are not have so much more freedom, like from their perspective, the things that they're telling me that they're doing
1000%.
and all this stuff versus the ones that are still breastfeeding. I'm like, oh my God, it's so night and day sometimes, because obviously like some of the ones that aren't fully like latching breastfeeding are like pumping, but that provides slightly more like flexibility for them and they prefer it that way, you know. But it's like people don't realize how the breastfeeding part is such like a time consuming full-time job thing,
and that even goes into the post-baby body, which we were just talking about, because I'm like, I'm still breastfeeding. I still want to eat and snack more than my normal self pre-pregnancy would.
For sure.
I still and that post-baby body thing is still a thing for me because I'm snacking all the time, and I try to tell myself like, stop snacking, like you're trying to get, you know,
but you're trying to replenish your energy.
Exactly. So now it's like my battle too of like, I'm trying to get my body back, but like, bitch, you're still breastfeeding. Like you're literally still on snacks because you need more calories.
Yeah. And the breastfeeding thing, I think a lot of people, if anyone listening, if people are telling you like the breastfeeding keeps you thin and like you'll no. Not everyone's body is the same. Some people do and some people don't. Like,
and it might, but then you also need to replenish, like you said, at least 500 extra calories a day, which means you need to be eating.
And they say like, what is it? Like an extra 10 pounds or something is what you usually keep on you to make sure that your baby doesn't starve. Your like body just does it. Yep. And then I feel like when I stopped breastfeeding is like when I gained all the weight. Like when I look back at breastfeeding photos, I'm like, okay, great. Like it was fine. Like I felt fine postpartum. And then I was like, oh, okay. Right after I stopped breastfeeding and I was snacking less and like doing all that stuff less, I feel like my hormones just changed and I didn't have as much control as I felt like over the breastfeeding time, you know?
Yeah. It's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. Like even if you're not pregnant anymore, not breastfeeding, then I feel like society and ourselves puts the pressure on us like, well, when's the next one?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I just have this break? Yeah. Yes. Can I just be me for a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take a bet. Who's going to be the first pregnant one?
You.
Me?
Yeah. Oh,
you guys think so?
1,000%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When?
Oh my God.
In the year?
What day? I'm like, what month is it? What month is it?
We're June?
June. We're in June. Okay,
we're in June. I think maybe
before the
end of the year. Yeah. I think you'd be
That's crazy.
in like early trimester. Yeah.
Yep.
That is so crazy.
What do you think?
I don't know. Like I'm ready and I want to do it and then I don't because I'm like I'm barely getting my life back.
Yeah.
All the me things, right? Which let me be selfish for a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
But then I'm like, rip the Band-Aid off, girl. Like just get it over with.
I had a dream last night that Drew said like, okay, let's do it. Let's like have baby number 2. And then I woke up this morning being like, wait, did that really happen? And I remember in that
you
moment,
asked him and he's like, no,
like, absolutely
it did not.
I did not.
In that moment, I just felt relieved that we were like, that he was finally telling me and I felt like we could make a decision.
Yeah.
But now that I'm awake, I'm like, okay, if we were, I definitely wouldn't want to start until like mid next year, like a whole year from now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we want to go on a trip. I want to feel better in my body and like get those because the mood booster after doing that one class, I was on a high for I feel like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like how you're saying you notice when you don't work out every day. I'm like, damn, do I need to do this every day now? Because the way that honestly, my mood was on 100.
Sometimes when I can't get in a workout, like Santi's being difficult, he doesn't want to nap. I just know I can't get down to the treadmill.
Yeah.
I will put on leggings and a sports bra and I will work out literally on his playmat, like, you know, the playmat in his room, and I will just do a mini workout right there, and that alone
helps you.
He's right there playing and I'm like doing sit-ups or I'm doing like push-ups or I'm doing something right there, working out, and I'm like, okay, I got a little sweat and I feel good, and like and even that little thing, and it's probably also psychological too.
Yes,
but it works.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually agree with Kristine about next year. I would like to be pregnant next year. And also like low key, like maybe high key. I also kind of want to plan like when my like what zodiac sign the baby's
Oh,
gonna be.
wow.
Okay.
Because there are
Type A. Planning
well,
what zodiac sign it would
that's
be.
type C still, because type C is a little bit of A, a little bit of B. So, I mean,
That's
yes,
not B at all, though. That is full on A. You're planning what zodiac sign your baby would be?
True,
no, but it's
my,
a combo.
But my
That's
first
a type
baby
A.
wasn't even planned. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a couple signs that I would not like my baby.
Like
Which
what?
ones? Which
yeah,
ones?
Tell us.
Go on, say.
I feel like you're gonna say Scorpio. Are you
No,
gonna say? Okay.
Cancer.
Do I even know Cancer?
And
I know a lot of Cancers.
Taurus.
I know a lot of Tauruses.
Yeah, it's because I'm not like that. I'm really not an emotional person.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Because you're big on zodiac and horoscope.
Yeah.
So why not those signs? Like, what is it of those signs that you just wouldn't prefer?
When I meet somebody who's like highly emotional,
Which is Cancer.
Cancer, sometimes I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like, so if I
much.
did have a Cancer child, then I feel like it would teach me a lot about emotions. I maybe not a Taurus child, because I have Taurus all around me, and they're super stubborn and like super rigid with the way that they think, and I'm not. I'm very chill, so I feel like I wouldn't want to have like a child tell me like,
You're totally gonna have a Cancer or a Taurus
I
now.
know, shut
I
up.
know.
Because
Oh my
it's gonna
God.
teach you how to deal with,
But
with
what's
what
funny
you're not
is
used to.
with Saint too, so he's at the beginning of Gemini. I was like praying, like, please
Low-key
don't come out.
Taurus.
Like, I didn't want
Yeah.
hit
be
a Taurus. I was like, please just
be
hit
a
that
Gemini.
cusp to
Yeah.
Gemini, please.
Yeah.
And then
Lucky you.
yeah. So I would like, if I could plan, I would like low key try to plan to avoid those signs.
Yeah.
But I still like, no shade to Cancers, no shade to Taurus, but
It's just you're not used to
it's
that.
just with my child, with that dynamic. Yeah.
I feel like I'm not thinking about the sign thing as much as I'm thinking about the month thing.
I think about the month
thing. I would love
thing.
to have like a mid-year baby. I feel like Poppy. Okay, so Poppy being in January, I feel one, it's right after the holidays, which is not ideal. And two, I feel when people gift, this is like a type A planning thing.
Yeah.
When people gift her things, it's like wham, bam, Christmas, then her birthday. And they're all like the same size, right? Whatever size she is at that time.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like,
That's
oh,
why you have to put
no.
size on the invitation,
Yes.
and you always
try to size up.
Yes.
So I feel like sometimes like she's been gifted things that she can't even wear because it's like too past the point. Like the size is too small and then she can't wear it. And so I'm like, man, having like a June or July baby would be ideal, because then they're getting mid-year like gift that's like the clothes kind of like helping you get through the rest of the year.
Get a Gemini.
Bit, you know? So I'm
Gemini
like, yes,
children are great,
I feel like June, July
And
for me is like
Drew
ideal.
being in the house with a Gemini, because
Uh-huh.
Gemini is, the double-sided,
Yes,
the
how
twins or
would that
whatever.
be?
It's me and my mom are Gemini.
Oh.
So, and that was fine. And now me
Yeah.
and Henry are Gemini.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's fun.
2 Geminis
It's
in the
fun.
house. It's
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
I love it.
Well, okay, wait. So when would I have to get pregnant then?
October.
Oh.
Or no, what's before
Yeah,
October?
no, October.
October?
September.
Well, 'cause-
September.
Oh, September. Oh, that's a great time to be pregnant.
Well, yes. So
You have to get pregnant this September.
Yeah, we got pregnant in September.
Oh, yeah.
And so same.
Not
born
this
May
September,
30th,
next
yeah.
September.
Well, then you would.
Then that's gonna put you in 2
2
years.
years.
Then
then Poppy
Then
will be
Poppy would be
5.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, you
This
guys.
September.
See, this is so complicated.
Freaking mom math. that
I know. We have to do everything. Definitely
We have
mom
to do
math.
everything.
Yeah, we got to plan when we're having
Okay,
babies.
speaking of mom math, next episode, episode
Yes.
17, we
Oh
are
my
talking
God.
about sleep, which
Oof.
I feel like
Sleep.
we sprinkle sleep in here
Yes,
and there.
we do.
Regressions and stuff like that, but we're going to talk everything
This is
sleep,
fully dedicated.
Fully dedication.
all
yes.
sleep, and now like Santi is going through something with sleep, like currently right now, so I am going to share it in the next episode, and hopefully because you have older babies, you can help me.
Cool.
What the heck?
We'll
Sounds
see.
I know. Please. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Night Feeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Night Feeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Night Feeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.